and welcome back to Retro Break. In this video I'm going to be talking about my 10 wishes and predictions for E3 2019. It's only 1 week away now and I'm very much excited to see what they announce. So here we go, here's 10 things that I want to see at the show this year. Number 10, and this one's pretty much guaranteed, and that is some gameplay of the new Animal Crossing game for the Switch. It's been 7 years since the last true Animal Crossing game, and I can't wait to see what kind of improvements they've made with the Switch version. I think it's going to be fantastic. I don't know whether it's going to be a huge change from the 3DS version of the game, but even so, Animal Crossing is Animal Crossing, and people are going to absolutely love it, me included. So I really can't wait to see what they have in store for Animal Crossing fans. Number 9, and this one was a really interesting game that they showed off at E3 last year by Platinum Games, that is Astral Chain. It looks like an amazing game. At first I actually thought that it was some sort of spin-off of the Xenoblade series. It sort of has that same kind of style to it. But no, it turns out it's an original, completely original brand new game, and fingers crossed it's coming out this year because it looks amazing. So I can't wait to see more gameplay and perhaps a release date for it as well. Now with number 8 we're getting into slightly more wishful thinking territory, and that is either a new game in the Xenoblade series or a port of Xenoblade X to the Switch so that more people can enjoy it, because this was one of my favourite games from the last generation of consoles, but as I'm sure you all know, not a lot of people had a Wii U, so I'm pretty sure this game here, Xenoblade X, passed by a lot of people, which is a huge shame because it is an amazing adventure and I really wish more people could experience it. So if it does come to the Switch, that would be amazing. But as I've already played all the Xenoblade games, I would really like to see a new game in the series announced this year at E3. Fingers crossed. Now, number 7 here, and some more wishful thinking. Something that might be a possibility because Microsoft and Nintendo seem to be on good terms recently, and that is that I would like to see some sort of collaboration between the two companies. I know there was a rumour going around about Xbox Gold, Xbox Game Pass somehow coming to the Nintendo Switch. I have no idea how that would actually work, but if it means that I get to play Forza Horizon on a handheld system, that would be mind-blowingly amazing because I love the Forza Horizon games. Another thing that I would really love to see between Microsoft and Nintendo is Rare Replay coming to the Nintendo Switch. Rare, of course, being one of my favourite game developers of all time. How amazing would it be to play all of their classic games on a Nintendo console where they belong? Now, the next one here on my list is more gameplay of Luigi's Mansion 3. It's another game that they briefly showed last year. They showed off a very quick trailer of the game. I loved the sequel on the DS, and if they take that and move it over to the Switch with some new environments, better gameplay, better graphics, I think it's going to be really fun. Now we're going back to the Wii U now, and again there's been rumours going around that this game is actually already finished and Nintendo is actually just waiting for the right time to release it. And that is a sequel to another one of my favourite games from the last generation. I would love to see Pikmin 4 on the Switch, or, like I said with Xenoblade, a port of Pikmin 3 to the Nintendo Switch, because once again, this is a game that far too many people passed by, and it is one incredible game. If you like either of the other two Pikmin games, you really owe it to yourself to play this, and if it comes to the Switch, it would just be a lot easier for people to get into the series as a whole. I would also really like to see Pikmin 1 and 2 come to the Switch as well. And just anything really, every single game that Nintendo's ever made should come to the Switch. That's my prediction for E3. Everything ever on the Switch. That would never happen, but I would really like to see Pikmin 4 at least. Now, once again, back to the Wii U. I didn't mean for it to be like this, but it seems like a bit of a running theme here. Of course, these games are also on the Switch as well. I would love to see some gameplay of Bayonetta 3. There should be gameplay at this year's E3. Fingers crossed. I know Platinum is a very busy studio. Of course, they're also working on Astral Chain, but I'd really love to see some gameplay from Bayonetta 3. The first two games are some of my favourite action games of all time, so I really can't wait to see just how much bigger and better they could make the game on more powerful hardware. Really looking forward to playing a third game in the series. Now, once again, we're back into wishful thinking territory, and I've said this every single E3 since about 2004, I think, and it's still never happened. That is, I would love to see a new game in the F-Zero series. I'm such a huge fan of the F-Zero games, and there hasn't been a new one, at least here in the UK, since I think 2003, which is just insane. Their reasoning being that F-Zero GX on the GameCube was so good that they don't know how they could make a game better than that. And I say, give it back to Sega and let them have another go at it, because I would love to see that game in HD. Even if it was just a HD port of the GameCube game, it would still be amazing, but I would love to see a new F-Zero game at some point in the future. Please be this year, Nintendo, please, I'm begging you. We need a new F-Zero game. About 10 years ago, I actually set up a Facebook group saying bring back F-Zero, and it's still relevant 10 years later, so fingers crossed once again for that announcement. And now, another rumour that's been going around, I'm not sure whether they'll actually show this at E3 or not, but that is a new Nintendo Switch console. Either a Switch Mini, like they did with the 2DS and the 2DS XL, sort of a cheaper system, or a Switch Pro or a Switch XL, something that can bring a bit more power to the Nintendo Switch and hopefully solve a lot of issues that the Switch currently has, like the resolution in handheld mode, like the battery life, like the fact that the flip on the back of the system is a little bit flimsy. There's so many little things that they could improve to make the Switch that much better, and I really hope they announce a second version of the console, either at E3 or sometime later in the year. There was a rumour going around that there will be a new Nintendo system out by the end of 2019, so maybe E3 is the time that we'll get to see the first sight of that new system. So I know I've mostly just talked about Nintendo games, but of course I'm looking forward to seeing what other companies show as well. And one thing I'm always very excited about is Ubisoft's conference, because they do seem to have a really nice range of games, and they always seem to bring Nintendo in for one big announcement. Of course, last year it was Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing what they release this year at E3 as well. So that's it for my E3 predictions and sort of wish list. So I did ask on Twitter and on YouTube itself, what are some of the things that you're excited about? So let's have a look at some of them. So on YouTube itself, on the Creators tab, Dads and Lads Gaming said nothing terribly exciting this year, but I'm hoping for a new Splinter Cell game. I'm not really that clued in on the Splinter Cell series, but I don't really know how long it's been since the last game in the series, but fingers crossed for him, they announced a new one. The last Splinter Cell game that I personally played was Chaos Theory on the GameCube, so that shows just how far out of the loop I am on that series. And I also asked the same question on Twitter. If you want to follow me on Twitter, I've got a new username now. It's @RetroBreakGames, because I want to try and keep the channel consistent with all my other social media channels. So I'm either RetroBreak if the username was available, or RetroBreakGames on all of your favourite social media. So definitely go and give me a like and a follow on all those different platforms. And it's just another way to stay connected with the channel, and maybe I'll read out some of your comments like I'm doing right now. So, Crescendo Skies, or Attack All Around, said, don't really have anything exact, but I'm very excited for Square Enix and their showcase, hoping for some interesting new games in general as well. So of course Square Enix is always really exciting. Hopefully they'll give another glimpse into Final Fantasy VII Remake, which has been a long time coming. I'd also kind of like to see some new Kingdom Hearts spin-off game. They're always making them, so I'm sure there will be another one at some point. It would be great to have one on the Switch, because there was one on the DS, there was one on the 3DS. It almost seems like a Kingdom Hearts game on the Switch is an inevitability at this point, so I'm very much looking forward to seeing what that could be. And we have Amy Rue here, and she says Animal Crossing, obviously. I think a lot of people are also very excited about Animal Crossing, and that's going to be the main draw of the event for a lot of people, I think. Not Telling here, Angel Fox Dreamer, said, I've just restarted Animal Crossing New Leaf, and it has me very excited for the upcoming Switch game, but I'm also hoping for something Star Fox related as well. That's another series that really needs a new proper game. I don't really count Star Fox Zero as being a proper game. It kind of fell a little bit flat. I would love to see something. Maybe Namco could have another go at it, because I really loved Star Fox Assault on the GameCube, and I would love to see a new game in that sort of style. No more remakes of the N64 game, please. I would love to see a new original game in the Star Fox universe. And just for Angel Fox Dreamer here, please include Crystal as well, because He always mentions that he would love to see Crystal make a comeback, so please make that happen. It would be amazing. And there's another comment here on Twitter by Your Doomed Game, and they said they're very excited to see some more of the Ori sequel, as well as Atomic Heart Madness. So I've never actually heard of Atomic Heart Madness as well, so I'm definitely going to go away after I've finished recording this episode and have a look at some screenshots and trailers for the game. It sounds kind of interesting, and of course, not being much of an Xbox fan, I've never actually played Ori and the Blind Forest, but I'm definitely interested in that sort of game. It does look like a game that I would really enjoy. And now that I have an Xbox One, maybe I should actually go and give it a try. So that's it for this episode of Retro Break. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I'm so close to 5,000 subscribers now. I really can't believe that. Thank you all so much for your support over the past few years. I've really been trying to improve my channel. Let me know down in the comments below if there's anything else I can do to improve. What are the videos that you enjoy watching the most? What would you like to see in the future? That sort of thing. And I'll definitely see what I can do. Thank you all so much for being so supportive of me. And of course, as always, I'll see you next week for another episode. Goodbye.